Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you for this opportunity. My name is Aditya Bima Kurniawan. Today, I would like to tell you a story entitled Habibi, the Dreamers in the Mid of a Storm. So, let me begin. But I don't want to just read this story because I want to invite you into a time machine. We'll meet a small figure with a genius mind who was born in Paripari, South Sulawesi on June 25, 1936. His name is Bakharuddin Joseph Habibi. Imagine a little boy who always looked up at the sky, dreaming that one day Indonesian children will not only see birds flying, but could build their own iron birds. That was Habibi's dream, a dream that took him across continent to Germany to study aeronautical engineering. In Germany, Habibi wasn't just a student, he was a star. Imagine, he earned a Doctor of Engineer degree with summa cum laude honor perfect grades. He worked of the prestigious aviation company Messerschmitt Bu Ikau Blum and rose to top position of vice president of technology. He had everything there: career, money, and respect. However, in 1973, a call came from Indonesian President Suharto asked him to return home. Habibi stood at crossroads: stay in the comfort of Germany or return to his homeland where facilities were still limited. Without hesitation, he chose to return. Why? Because for him, no matter how great knowledge was, it was useless if it wasn't used to build his own nation. Then we arrive at 1998, a year full of fire and tears for Indonesia. Reformation broke out. Jakarta was gripped by tension. Black smoke billowed everywhere. On May 21, 1998, President Suharto announced his resignation after 32 years in power. Amidst the chaos, Habibi, then vice president, suddenly had to take the helm of a large ship called Indonesia, which was leaking of nearly sinking. Many people dubbed him. They said, how could a technocrat and aircraft engineer led the country in ruins? Habibi didn't say much. He worked 20-hour day. He inherited a chaotic economy and a disintegrating nation that treated unity. However, with his hand accustomed to decide precision aircraft engine, he began to repair the machinery of our democracy. His term in office was only 1 year and 5 months, the shortest in our presidential history. However, what he accomplished in that story time was nothing short of miracles. He freed political prisoners. He opened the door to press freedom as wide as possible, allowing us to criticize the government without fear today. And most importantly, he passed the regional autonomy law. Friends, if it weren't for this law, Indonesia might have broken apart like the Soviet Union or Yugoslavia. It was Habibi who kept us united as one Indonesia. He also succeeded in lowering the dollar exchange rate, which had initially skyrocketed back to a reasonable level. He proved that intellectual intelligence coupled with a sincere heart can save a nation from destruction. However, behind all his physics formula and political decisions, there is no one thing that makes you all love him. His love story with Ibu Ainun Habibie. Habibie taught us that no matter how high a man soars, he needs the most comfortable place to land. That is family. In October 1999, he stepped down from office with dignity. He was not power hungry. He taught us how to step down with our head held high. From Mr. Habibie, we learn being intelligent is important, but being brave and having integrity is far more important. We may be gone, but every time we see an airplane flying over Indonesian sky, remember that there are threads of the dream of Pare-Pare child who never gave up on his nation. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.